Hello and welcome to Perspectives, where we'll take a deep dive into the issues of the day and where we'll take a deep look at people's opinion on such issues. I am Ruth Osime. Jumoke Orisaguna, famously known as Jumoke the Breadseller, captured national attention in 2016 through a chance encounter with photographer T.Y. Bello during a tiny temple photo shoot for This Day Style. After the shoot, T.Y. Bello went to look for her, and just a few weeks later, Jumoke graced the same cover of the same magazine, embodying a modern-day fairy tale of grass to grace that turned her into an overnight sensation. Her transition from selling bread on Lagos streets to becoming a model was swift and life-changing, bringing her modeling contracts, endorsements, and even scholarships for her children. However, her inspiring rise to fame also reveals the challenges of sustaining such transformations. Her financial struggles and the pressure of fame illustrated how fragile the leap from poverty to prosperity can be when opportunities are not managed with foresight. Today, Jumoke shares her story of grace, loss, and redemption, reflecting on how fleeting success shaped her perspective on life. From navigating fame to falling back into obscurity, she has come to understand the power of resilience and second chances. In this new chapter, Jumoke seeks to inspire others with her journey, one that reminds us that true transformation comes not just from external opportunities, but from an inner resolve to rise again, no matter the odds. We are heading for a short break, but stay with us because I'll be back in a brief minute to introduce our wonderful people in the house this morning. Adedoja Allen and Jumoke Orisaguna. Perspectives will return in just a moment. It's time to get to know a bit more about our distinguished guests, including Adedoja Allen, who is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of City 105.1 FM. Adedoja holds an MBA from the Lagos Business School and IESE Business School, Navarra, Barcelona, and MSc in Business and Information Technology from Aston Business School in Birmingham, United Kingdom, as well as a bachelor's degree in mathematics from the University of Ibadan. For one without a journalism background, Adedoja Allen has deep financial insight into business journalism. She's been joined by Jumoke Orisaguna, a bread seller who was discovered on the streets of Lagos by T.Y. Bello, the Nigerian celebrity photographer who did a photo shoot of her which was featured in This Day Style magazine. That rare opportunity and exposure turned Jumoke into an overnight sensation. While her rise was inspiring, her journey is a reminder that fame can fade as quickly as it comes. So good morning, my beautiful guests.
Good morning.
Good to see you here on Perspectives. Now, of course, like I was saying to you, Doja, because Jumoke is barely literate and she can't speak English, we'll use the first half of the interview asking questions to her, which you will now answer directly on her, which she would answer and then you will now translate to the audience. So Jumoke, I want you to tell us about your experience. How did this thing happen? What was the moment of change that took your life over? So, Doja, explain to her.
2016. Story 2016.
Okay.
Oh, this is Yoruba. Then Doja Maya translate.
So ní 2016 ọjọ́ yẹn mo kiri bread because méjì ni mo máa ń kiri bread. Mo máa kiri láàárọ̀, mo máa kiri ní ọ̀sán. Tí ma ti kiri láàárọ̀ dé mo tún máa pété ọ̀sán. So ọjọ́ yẹn mo ti kiri láàárọ̀, mo ti dé ní àárọ̀ ọjọ́ yẹn. Because tí ma dé bakery ọ̀gá mi á ti ṣe another bread tí mo máa kiri ní ọ̀sán, tí ma ṣe yẹn kalẹ̀. So ó wá di ọ̀sán ọjọ́ yẹn. Mo ṣe dé bakery ọ̀gá mi ò tí ṣe bread yẹn ò tí jáde. Mo dẹ̀ ń kánjú pé àwọn customer mi ò ti máa ra ọjà níbò mí náà. Mo tún bọ́gá mi bínú gan ní ọjọ́ yẹn pé ẹ tètè mí jẹ́ káwọn customer mi kan ra ọjà níbò mí kìnnìkan. So ọ̀gá mi sá ń bẹ̀ mí jọ́ yẹn pé kí n má bínú pé mo máa tà lágbára lọ. Mi ò ṣe dá wọn lóhùn because mi fẹ́ káwọn customer mi rajà lọ́wọ́ another person. So mo sá sí ọjọ́ yẹn gan yẹ kí n wẹ̀, mi ò wẹ̀. Mo kàn fọ ẹsẹ̀ mi lọ́jọ́ yẹn pé so that màá lè tè kiri lọ láti tajà fún àwọn customer mi kan. Mo kàn san ọwọ́ mi, mo fọ ẹsẹ̀ mi, mo ṣe wọ aṣọ nìyẹn.
So basically,
So basically, she's starting by saying that she was hawking bread on the streets of Lagos, or preparing to hawk bread on that particular day that she bumped into. Well, she hasn't said that much though.
Yeah, but she's preparing. In other words, she was saying that
yes,
she didn't even have a bath.
She didn't have a bath on that particular day, and then she just did the, you know.
Okay, let me ask her, what was the biggest adjustment with this sudden change of lifestyle? What was the biggest adjustment for her when she became an internet sensation?
So, ìgbà tí àwọn TY àti Azuka don't discover ẹ̀, ṣó mọ̀ pé òun láti move from èèyàn tó ń ta bread sí ẹni tí ó ti di gbajúmọ̀ tá bá máa pè bẹ́ẹ̀. Kí ni àwọn nǹkan tó ń láti àtúnṣe, bí àwọn nǹkan tó kàn láti adjust, ṣó mọ̀ pé àwọn nǹkan kan wà tó máa move, tó máa shift, so kí ni àwọn nǹkan tó ṣe lọ́sọ̀kan òru kan láti fi adjust lifestyle yẹn.
Ìgbà tí tèmi sára àwọn èèyàn tó ń ya fọ́tò mi fẹ́ kọjá bí kan fẹ́ lọ ta ọjà lọ́dọ̀ àwọn customer mi, another place wà tí mo lè gbà bọ́ mo pé tí má gba bẹ̀yẹn máa jìnnà jù, so ni mo wá ní èèyàn dẹ̀ pọ̀ bí báyìí mi fẹ́ máa kọjá, mo ń sọ fúnra mi pé mo máa kọjá kò síbi tí mo fẹ́ gbà, mo sá kọjá ní ọjọ́ yẹn bóyá bí ọjọ́ kejì àbí ọjọ́ kẹta òní wọ́n ní àwọn èèyàn wá ń béèrè mi ní bakery pẹ̀lú fọ́tò mi, wọ́n wá ń béèrè mi ní bakery o, wọ́n dẹ̀ bá kejì mi níjọ́ tí wọ́n wá yẹn, ìyẹn ẹrú tẹ̀ ti bá yẹn, ìyẹn lẹ́rù ti bá àwọn lọ́jọ́ tán wá pé kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ kíníkan, so wọ́n sọ ní kò sí pọ́blẹ́mù pé àǹtí Tiwa Bello ni wọ́n béèrè rẹ̀, àwọn yẹn ní àtàlóúnjẹ àǹtí Tiwa Bello lọ́sàn náà máa padà wá, so ìgbà tí mo ti bakery tí mo ti kiri dé nìkan wáyà bí after 12 ní alẹ́ lóru, ìgbà tí yẹn wá sọ fún mi pé àwọn kan béèrè mi kíníkan, mo ní kò sí pọ́blẹ́mù pé mi kí n bá yẹn jà, mi ò dẹ̀ jalè, pé kò sí pọ́blẹ́mù tó máa ń béèrè mi pé tó máa ti padà wá máa bá mi ti máa wà ní bakery tí mo bá ti kiri lọ.
So basically what she's saying is that they came to look for her, yes, and then when they now found her, she was prepared to see them, and then that's how it changed. But what I want to know is that what were the immediate changes in her life?
Yes. So immediately, nígbà tí wọ́n wá bá ẹ yẹn, kí ló change? Ṣé wọ́n pé nígbà tí wọ́n wá bá ẹ, wọ́n sọ fún ẹ pé àwọn fẹ́ kó wá àwọn picture tó yà yẹn o, àwọn láìkẹ́ ó jọ model. Kí ni àwọn iṣẹ́ kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé ó fi ṣe gbọ́ lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀.
Ṣùgbọ́n tí àwọn iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n yà jáde ńgbà yẹn táwọn ní àwọn post ẹ̀ sí online, ṣùgbọ́n àwọn yẹn ní àwọn tó ru búrẹ́dì yẹn ṣé model ni, ṣé wọ́n gbé búrẹ́dì lé lórí wọn ni àwọn ò mọ̀ pé ó kàn kọjá làwọn kàn yá mọ́ fọ́tò táwọn ń yà yẹn, so àwọn yẹn wá ní ọmọ yẹn fìtì model àná ọ̀dà pé wọ́n ṣàlàyé fún mi wá ní model pé kí ló ń jẹ́ model, mi mọ̀ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ model, wá ní ṣe àǹtí Tiwa Bello wá sọ fún mi pé ṣé o máa like láti ṣe model, mo ní mi mọ̀ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ bọ̀ kò sí problem mà, so ní wá lókè, so náà sáà mọ̀ mi lọ sọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀ tó máa
train mi. Okay, so in other words, you didn't know what it was like to be something that you've never done before. But who were the sponsors? What kind of jobs did she get?
Yes, lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ àwọn iṣẹ́ olùwà gbà nígbà tó ní ṣé o mọ̀ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ model tó ń dẹ̀ ṣàlàyé model fún ẹ, kí ló ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀?
So bó ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ ńgbà yẹn ọmọ mi lọ sọ́dọ̀ tó máa train mi. Okay, so iṣẹ́ tí mo kọ́kọ́ gbà nígbà yẹn payport, mo bá payport ṣiṣẹ́, payport mo bá ṣiṣẹ́ ńgbà yẹn, mo bá ọkùn bá ṣí amara ṣí, mo bá wọn náà ṣiṣẹ́ ńgbà yẹn, Sellis Bakery l'Abuja, mo bá wọn ṣiṣẹ́ ńgbà yẹn, àwọn ṣẹ́ láti mo gbà nígbà yẹn.
Okay. So she worked with who?
So she worked with Payport and
Sellis Bakery l'Abuja.
Some bakery in Abuja, yes, to start with, as a model.
As a model. So it was basically because one thing I must bring to light is that people talk about TY discovering her, but they undermine the platform in where she was discovered, which was This Day Style.
Right.
It was her feature in This Day Style that made her become an internet sensation. So even though TY discovered her, but the picture on the magazine, you know, and I think This Day Style has never been given enough credit for that. So I think today I should announce it, even though I'm not the editor anymore, but it was during my time, and I really think that it was a major, major feat that we did for her to change her life.
Okay.
You know. Okay, so let me ask again, you know, looking back, there were challenges, because why was she not well managed? Did she have issues with her manager? Because I know that Azuka at one point was her manager, and then later on she changed the manager. So did she have issues? What were the hindrances that she faced during her growth?
Yes, so kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀, gbogbo nǹkan lọ dáadáa, Azuka manage kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ tó wá dàbí pé nǹkan jábọ́ padà fún ẹ.
So ìgbà tí Aunty Azuka manage mi because Aunty Azuka no really try for me no manage mi so that dem máa wá iṣẹ́ fún mi máa wá iṣẹ́ fún mi ìgbà tán wá iṣẹ́ fún mi nígbà yẹn tí mo wà pẹ̀lú wọn nígbà yẹn wọn kì í gba owó pé bóyá máa yọ percentage wọn kì í gba owó so wọ́n kàn máa sọ fáwọn yẹn ni pé Ọlájùmọ̀kẹ́ send owó iṣẹ́ Ọlájùmọ̀kẹ́ sínú àkáǹtì ẹ̀ so ní ìgbà yẹn wọ́n wá fẹ́ travel nígbà yẹn so wọ́n wá fẹ́ wá iṣẹ́ kan fún mi wọ́n wá fẹ́ travel náà wá pé mo ní iṣẹ́ mi àti dínrín lájọ fẹ́ host event pẹ̀lú èèyàn wọ́n á lókè mà pé wọ́n á lọ bá wọn níbi tán wọ́n wá pé lady yẹn náà Victoria wọ́n pè pé kó wá sí ibẹ̀ yẹn so aṣáájú ẹ̀rọ particular ọjọ́ yẹn àti fẹ́ travel yẹn ọjọ́ yẹn so wọ́n á fún mi ní lady yẹn pé kó bá wọn handle fàmì dáadáa pé because àwọn ò sí around because gbogbo táwọn bá ń lọ tí mo máa ń lọ àwọn máa ń tẹ̀lé mi lọ níbọ̀ àwọn ò ní lè ráyè tẹ̀lé mi lọ sí ibi event yẹn so mo fi lọ sí ibẹ̀ ní ìgbà so ìgbà tí mo wá parí event yẹn pẹ̀lú lady yẹn so ló wá sọ fún mi pé mo lè máa ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú òun pé because iṣẹ́ tí Aunty Azuka ń wá fún mi owó kéékèèké ni wọ́n fún mi owó tán fún mi kò wá òkè kán gba 50,000 100,000 pé òun máa gbà jù báyẹn lọ fún mi tó máa bá mi wá iṣẹ́ ó máa mú mi travel out ó máa wáṣẹ́ gidi fún mi iṣẹ́ tó máa wá fún mi láti 500,000 more than that lọ sókè báyẹn so ìgbà tó dẹ̀ sọ fún mi mo ní I will get back to you sọ fún báyẹn so ìgbà tí mo dẹ̀ fọ̀rọ̀ yẹn lọ èèyàn kan àbí èèyàn méjì náà ní àpẹẹpẹ tó máa wà òkè fún mi tó máa benefit fún mi pé kò sí problem pé kájọ máa ṣiṣẹ́ pọ̀ mo fi kúrò dọ́ Aunty Azuka gbà yẹn tí mo fi bọ́ sọ́wọ́ Victoria gbà yẹn.
Right, so Azuka managed her and she did a good job. So while Azuka was traveling, was about to embark on a journey to the UK for I think a month, Azuka handed over to a lady called Victoria to handle her in her absence. And there was a particular job that Victoria was supposed to take her to because Azuka usually would take her everywhere as the manager. And so Victoria did that bit, took her to the job. And after the job, Victoria then said, why don't I manage you? I would do a better job than what Azuka is doing. I will get you more money than Azuka is getting. You're just getting peanuts. I would give you 500,000, $1 million, and all of that. And she emphasized now that while Azuka was managing her, she wasn't taking any cut from the money that she was getting.
Okay, Azuka wasn't getting any commission.
Azuka wasn't getting any cut or commission from it.
Okay, but so what now happened between she and the lady?
So what now happened? They were the woman here. So clearly, Ofi Azuka sile o wa lọ bá Victoria. Ibẹ̀ ni problem ti bẹ̀rẹ̀. So kí ni problem tó ṣẹlẹ̀?
So ìgbà tí mo dẹ̀ ti fọ̀rọ̀ yẹn lọ èèyàn kan àbíyàn méjì so táwọn ènìyàn náà ti fún mi nímọ̀ràn pé ó wà òkè pé tó máa benefit mi ni so mo sá lọ bá lady yẹn. Ó wá ní pé lọ́ọ̀yà mi náà mo pé mo ṣàlàyé fún wọn pé báyìí lọ́ọ̀yà wa ní kí á pa meeting as ká ṣe meeting pẹ̀lú lady yẹn so a lọ síbẹ̀ àjọ àṣẹ meeting ó gbé ìwé jáde pé tó bá wọn ṣe wọn kọ́ máa sign on contract tó tó máa bá ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú òun ó dẹ̀ gbéwé yẹn fún mi wá gbé fún lọ́ọ̀yà ṣùgbọ́n àti lọ́ọ̀yà dẹ̀ ká lọ́ọ̀yà sọ pé tó wà ń bẹ̀ kó wà òkè pé kò sí problem pé kémi kí n kan sign ṣùgbọ́n àti mi dẹ̀ sign sí ìwé yẹn bàtà tí mo ti wá ń bá ṣe 2 years ní agreement mi àti ẹ̀ta jọ sign so bàtà mo wá ti ń bá ṣiṣẹ́ kò sówó mo dẹ̀ ń ṣiṣẹ́ kò sówó kò sí anything mo travel lọ sí South Africa lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ fún Soweto Fashion Week ni mo travel lọ ń gbà yẹn wọ́n sanwó fún mi bọ̀ mi mọ iye tí wọ́n san fún mi ó kàn sọ fún mi pé mo ní iṣẹ́ ní South Africa so wá lọ sí South Africa ìgbà tá a ṣiṣẹ́ tán tá a dé ilé padà ọyọ máa ṣí owó tèmi fún mi so ìgbà tá a dé ló sọ fún mi pé owó pé èmi ni mo máa san owó feeding owó feeding èmi mo máa inú owó mi náà ti máa yọ owó transport owó accommodation pé inú iṣẹ́ tí mo ṣe yẹn náà ni a ti máa yọ gbogbo owó yẹn so ó sì tún sá fún mi ní 200,000 fún travel tí mo kọ́ travel gbà yẹn owó tó kù 200,000 ló fún mi so mo tún travel lọ lẹ́lẹ́kejì náà the same thing so ìyẹn sẹ́yìn lẹ́lẹ́kejì yẹn mo rí 50,000 gbàngbà tí mo ti South Africa dé lẹ́lẹ́kejì gbà yẹn ó fún mi ní 50,000 mo wá rò pé mo dẹ̀ ń ṣe àwọn modern job míì náà ní Èkó mo ń ṣe oríṣiríṣi àwọn sẹ́mì ní Èkó náà tẹ̀ pé kó fún mi 30,000 20,000 báyẹn mo wá rò pé ìgbà tí mo wà pẹ̀lú Aunty Azuka gan kò wọ́ọ̀sì tó báyìí kọ́ ìgbà tí mo ń ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú Aunty Azuka àtàntí tí wàá belò owó tàǹtí tí wàá belò àtàntí Azuka bá mi fi pamọ́ gbà yẹn pàtó mi ò wọlé fún mi mo ti mú owó yẹn mò ń ná láti fi tọ́jú àwọn ọmọ tọ́jú ara mi mò ń náwó yẹn tó pé gbogbo owó yẹn ni ló tán nínú àkáǹtì mọ́ pé eléyìí ò lè help mi ó tún ìfàsẹ́yìn lélẹ̀ tó fẹ́ jẹ́ fún mi pé mi ò bá ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́.
So when she met Victoria, a contract was signed. They reached an agreement. She got a lawyer. And they signed a contract for 2 years for Victoria to start managing her. You didn't sign a contract with Azuka. No. You didn't. So you signed a contract with Victoria. Even though you didn't quite understand the content.
Exactly. I was just going to say, but her lawyer should have understood the content.
Yes, you didn't quite understand the content of the lawyer. But she said a lawyer told her it was okay.
Yes.
Your lawyer told you, advised you that it was okay. So, and then she went on, they went on to execute the agreement and the contract, right? And so the Victoria lady started to manage her, and she said their first trip was to South Africa, where she only gave her 200,000. And our explanation, Victoria's explanation is that, it's from whatever they give you that will pay for accommodation, pay for your ticket, pay for your feeding, and all of that, which, we all know is not true. So they went, so the first trip to South Africa was 200,000. The second trip was how much? 50,000. Worse. And then subsequently, when she then does her modeling job, she receives 30,000. So she then realized by herself that this seems like I've gone from fry pan to fire. It's worse where I am. When Azuka was managing me, I was a lot better financially. This seems like someone is milking me.
But does she also accept that her illiteracy played a major role in this? Because clearly she wasn't exposed enough to know what was right or wrong for her.
So now, kí ni nǹkan tó rò pé ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan? Ṣé torí pé o kàwé ni àbójú kòkòrò? Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀?
Mo fi lọ sọ́dọ̀ Victoria ń gbà.
Yes. Ṣé àkọ́kọ́ pé torí pé o kàwé ni àbí ìwọ náà fi pé ó dẹ̀ ṣojú kòkòrò ń bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kò yẹ kó ṣe nǹkan tó ṣe yẹn èwo nu wọn ló play.
Méjèèjì náà ni wọn cause ìgbà tó sọ fún mi gbà yẹn pé kó máa manage mi pé mi ò ṣojú kòkòrò ni kò yẹ kí n dá lóhùn ìgbà tí mo sẹ̀ tún fi la another person pé ìyẹn tún ní òye jù mí lọ ẹni tó kàwé ni gbàtẹ́ni yẹn náà tí mo rí pé the same thing kò yẹ kí n gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ẹnìkan kan àti ti Victoria àtẹni tí mo sọ̀rọ̀ fún kò yẹ kí n gbọ́ nǹkan náà àwọn méjèèjì because gbà tí mò ń ta bread èló ni mò ń rí bóyá 1,000 1,500 onígéènì tí mo ń rí mo tún wá rí pé 50,000 100,000 wọlé fún mi ẹnìkan wá ló kéré so kò yẹ kémi náà kí n listen sí yẹn rárá because èmi náà mọ̀ pé mo ṣe mistake ojú kòkòrò ni n tó dẹ̀ tún fa ẹlẹ́kejì pé àìkàwé n tó tún fa ẹlẹ́kejì nìyẹn.
So a combination of illiteracy or lack of education and greed.
Okay, that's good. Now, what about the sponsorships? The people who got her a place, the bank who sponsored for her children's education, does she still have the place and are the children still being sponsored by the bank?
Àwọn yẹn tí wọ́n fún ẹ ní accommodation, àwọn ṣojú mọ́tò àti bank, how did they come in? Báwo làwọn yẹn ṣe wá? And then ibo lè ọ̀rọ̀ ìwà tí wọ́n wà nísìn?
So nígbà ní 2016 yẹn tí gbogbo nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀ tó yẹ pé gbogbo yẹn ló mọ̀ mí gbà yẹn because Aunty Asuka pẹ̀lú Uncle Jumoke ọ̀rẹ́ ni wọ́n. So Aunty Asuka náà wá sọ fún Uncle Jumoke pé kán assist mi pé kí náà lè ṣe fún Jumoke. So Uncle Jumoke fi gbalé fún mi ní Surulere gbà yẹn 3-bedroom flat. Wọ́n dẹ̀ sanwó rent 5 years síbẹ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ tún furnish inú ẹ̀ ra gbogbo nǹkan sí inú ilé yẹn nígbà yẹn. So àwọn Stanbic IBTC náà ìgbà yẹn àwọn náà sanwó school fees àwọn ọmọ mi wọ́n sponsor àwọn ọmọ mi bí kán máa kàwé wọn lọ wọ́n fún wọn ní scholarship bí kán máa fi kàwé lọ wọ́n dẹ̀ ń sanwó yẹn tì náà wọn ò tí ì stop.
So ilé tí Jumoke gbà yẹn gan.
So ilé tí Jumoke gbà fún mi so ìgbà tí 5 years yẹn ti pé mo ti kúrò níbẹ̀ ìkọ́ láti máa continue láti máa san owó ilé níbẹ̀ yẹn kò agbára mi ò gbé ni mo fi kúrò níbẹ̀ yẹn.
Okay,
so the Jumoke got her an apartment or a flat. And paid the rent for 5 years, furnished it. Stanbic IBTC paying the children's fees, but after 5 years, with everything that happened, she couldn't continue to pay the rent, and so she had to move out of the house Jumoke got for her. But Stanbic is still paying her children's fees to date.
Oh, okay. So what was the issue with her family? Because apparently I heard that family issues also played a role in this dissension of fame in her life.
Yeah, àwọn family setbacks kan àwọn nǹkan kan ṣẹlẹ̀ náà nínú family ẹ̀ tó fa okùn ìfàsẹ́yìn yìí náà wọ́n fẹ́ kó tún sọ̀rọ̀ díẹ̀ lórí ẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ so mo ní challenges nípa ọ̀rọ̀ family so ìyẹn ló tún gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ tó jẹ́ kí gbogbo orí mi kó kún gidi gan ni tó tún jẹ́ nǹkan tó tún fa ìfàsẹ́yìn fún mi.
Okay, but can you ask her if she's still with her partner?
Ṣó ṣe wà pẹ̀lú.
No, you haven't explained. You haven't translated what she said.
Okay, yeah, she had some family issues. Yeah, but she didn't really go into it. She said so the family issues was part of what caused the setback, really affected her mentally and emotionally. And so part of the cause of what happened with her that just made her everything go down. Yes. Yeah.
Is she still with the partner?
So ṣó ṣe wà pẹ̀lú.
And who is taking care of her children now?
Ṣó ṣe wà pẹ̀lú bàbá àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ ta ló ń tọ́jú àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀?
Ọlọ́run àti àtìlẹ́yìn àwọn tó ń assist mi ló ń tọ́jú àwọn ọmọ.
Bàbá àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ jọ àwọn àpò.
Èmi àti bàbá àwọn ọmọ mi àjọṣe papọ̀ because a really fẹ́ra náà tẹ́lẹ̀ a fẹ́ra so a kò bí ọmọ fúnra wa ni àjọṣe pọ̀ náà.
So
just explain that last one before we go on break.
She said God is the one looking after her and her children, and then sadly she's not with her baby, her father or her partner anymore.
Okay, so that is interesting to know. Anyway, it means we would like to unfold a bit more about it, but we're going on a break right now. Do not leave us. Grab your cup of tea and be right back on Perspectives with me. See you soon. Welcome back to Perspectives. Let's get back to Jumoke again. So, Jumoke, what lessons have you learned from your past experience? And if you had to turn the clock back, what would you do differently?
So, ọgbọ́n wo ló kọ́? Tó bá ní kó dáwọ́ aago padà sẹ́yìn, àtúnṣe wo ló máa ṣe?
So, mo kọ́ ọgbọ́n tó pọ̀ gan ni because láti bóyá bí 3 years or going to 4 years báyìí tí mi ò ti ṣe modern job mi mọ́ so ọgbọ́n tó pọ̀ gidi ni mo kọ́ so nǹkan tójú mi rí ní dá gbogbo táìmù yẹn kò ń ṣe nǹkan kékeré because nǹkan tí mo rò ní pé ọwọ́ tó bá ń fúnyàn lóúnjẹ kò yẹ kíyàn máa gé jẹ so because orin ni àǹtí Tiwa Bello Ọlọ́run dídì rán àǹtí Tiwa Bello àtàǹtí Àsúkà sínú ayé mi ni kó tó di pé mo fuck up so but mi ò dẹ̀.
Yes, so explain.
Okay.
So she's saying that she's learned a lot of lessons, one of which is you don't bite the fingers that feed you. What T.Y. and Azu did for her is something very great that she shouldn't have just toyed with or played with and just treated the way she did. Oh yeah, go ahead, just a bit more.
So if given the chance, so how has she now been able to surge forward?
Yeah.
How she has been able to empower herself? What has she done to educate herself?
Yeah.
To become more socially conscious and smarter?
Yeah,
so that she won't
exactly.
be due advantage of again this time around.
So àwọn àtúnṣe wo ló ti wá ṣe ń sìn? Ṣó ti kàwé ni? Ṣó fẹ́ kàwé ni? Kí ni nǹkan tó wà níwájú ẹ̀ nísìn láti show pé o ò ní ṣe mistake ẹ̀ mọ́ ò dẹ̀ ní padà sílẹ̀?
Àwọn nǹkan tó wà níwájú mi ń sìn ó pọ̀ gan ni because ìwé yẹn ó ṣe wà very important fún mi. Ìyẹn nìkan àkọ́kọ́ tí mo kọ́ dì mú sìn pé mo fẹ́ kàwé yẹn because nǹkan tó fìyà jẹ mí nìyẹn tí mo fi lọ kó sọ́wọ́ Victoria mi dẹ̀ tún ní fẹ́ mistake ẹlẹ́lẹ́kejì báyẹn so yín sìn báyìí mo dẹ̀ ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní City FM 105.1 FM so Ọlájùmọ̀kẹ́ kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ so máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ program mi yẹn ní next year January so tí mo sọ ọkọ máa gbé wá fún yín náà ni pé ọ̀rọ̀ ara mi gan máa fi ṣe àríkọ́gbọ́n fún gbogbo àwọn ènìyàn àti gbogbo àwọn ọ̀dọ́ tó ń dìde bọ́ ń sìn so ọ̀rọ̀ ara mi máa fi ṣàríkọ́gbọ́n fún yín because tí ẹ máa ti lè ṣe mistake lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ mistake yẹn kò yẹ kí yẹn tó ṣe padà lẹ́lẹ́kejì mo dẹ̀ ti kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó pọ̀ gidi gan ni mo dẹ̀ gba àwọn tí mo dẹ̀ ti ṣẹ̀ sí mo dẹ̀ bẹ̀ gbọ́n pé kán má bínú kán forí jì mí because ọmọ kékeré ló ń ṣe mí kán ságbà pé ọmọ kékeré ló ń ṣe mí àti ìwé tí mi ò kà kán gbà báyẹn gbogbo wọn kán má bínú.
So yes.
So first, before you answer her translation, the word that you use, the F word, is not air friendly and is not appropriate. So
yes.
she should learn not to use it.
Not to use it, yes.
Even outside or inside the, So explain to her that was a slip, and that's one of the things she has to learn not to use again.
Low F up here, F up. Mas sofan tabatin lolly, oni masoro, beye, mo, or budolo or beye, whether wà lórí radio or wà lórí TV, abon ba when you're sorrow, conshoro tomolo abimanlo, chotiye. So, but you know what she has explained now is that yes, of course she clearly messed up, and her education, lack of education is part of it. So she's now going to go back to school, adult education, and then she's starting a job in CTFM as a career, as an honor personality radio presenter, and her modeling job, and her radio job is going to focus on life's perspectives. Is titled Ages and Experience Kilo Nshele with Jumoke. So she's going to start by using our own experience as life's lessons for people not to fall into the same ditch and make the same mistakes that she has made, and to encourage people and to teach them how to behave when they ever fall into an opportunity that she got, which is good.
So let me now focus on you, because you have now come in as her mentor, and almost as if like her angel. But what inspired you about Jumoke's story that made you decide to give her a second chance?
Okay. So Azuka approached me at work. She came to my office and said, we need to talk. And that told me her story and said, please, can you help me to employ her? I found that quite funny. I said, oh, how do I employ someone that doesn't speak English? And she was like, please, what can you do? So I thought about it for a few days, and I said, okay, we're not an indigenous radio station. We speak only English. We do programs in only English. However, it's okay to carve out a segment for the poor little girl, just to help her get back on her feet. And so I called the head of programs and another lady who I said we should train her. And I said, we have to put something together on Saturday mornings for Jumoke in Yoruba. It's okay, let's carve out an indigenous segment for her in Yoruba and let her come back. I understand that she's very smart and she's gifted. Anything you give to her, you know, she can turn it into gold. And that's why she came to City, I think sometime in July of this year. She's been trained on radio, been trained. She understudies a particular presenter, and she's come up with her own show, which is going to debut in January. She's already produced it. With Jumoke. I'm sure she can do a bit of the freestyle for you in the studio.
So, yes, can you just give us an example of one of her topics and how she responded?
One of our recording in the studio to send to me. Oh yeah. So then by Bushy saw kilo saw kilo advice. Yeah.
So bàbá kan wà, ó bí ọmọkùnrin ẹyọ kan. Ìyá arákùnrin yẹn ti kú. So ó tó time tọmọ rẹ̀ tó máa mọ́kọ wá sí, tó máa mú ìyàwó wá sílé. Ó mú ìyàwó alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ wá sílé, bàbá yẹn reject. Ó lóun ò faramọ́. Ó mú ẹlẹ́kejì wá sílé, so ẹlẹ́kejì yẹn bàbá yẹn faramọ́ ẹlẹ́kejì yẹn. Ọmọ akọ́ tó mú wálé yẹn, bàbá yẹn ọmọ yẹn like ìyàwó ẹ̀ yẹn. So bàbá yẹn sá ní kò lè fẹ́ kilo, ó ní kí ló lè wá tí máa sọ pé òun ò lè fẹ́ ọmọ yẹn. Bàbá yẹn ò sá sọ reason why tó fi ní òun ò lè fẹ́ ọmọ yẹn. Anyway, ó sá fẹ́ ya ẹlẹ́kejì yẹn, ó fẹ́ yẹn. Ó wá di ọjọ́ kan, èyí tó fẹ́ sílé yẹn kò like. Ó wá di ọjọ́ kan bàbá yẹn, arákùnrin yẹn, ìyẹn ọmọ bàbá yẹn, ó ń jáde pẹ̀lú ex-girlfriend ẹ̀ tán ti fẹ́ra rí. So wá pàdé nínú mọ́tò. Lady yẹn jókòó sẹ́yìn, ìyẹn jókòó síwájú pẹ̀lú ọ̀rẹ́ rẹ̀. Wọ́n jọ ń sọ̀rọ̀ nínú mọ́tò pé bàbá òun, wàhálà bá òun ti pọ̀ jù. Ìyàwó kó tó ọkọ fẹ́, ó ní kó má fẹ́ pé òun ò like, òun ò mọ why kìnìkan ìgbà kan. Wọ́n sá ń sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ní inú mọ́tò, kò dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ex-girlfriend ẹ̀ yẹn ó ti wà ní ẹ̀yìn mọ́tò. Wọ́n sá sọ̀rọ̀ sí yẹn, sọ̀rọ̀ sí ọwọ́ rẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n tí wọ́n fẹ́ drop, yẹn wá sọ fún ẹ pé Ọlọ́run bá yín yanjú ẹ o. Wọ́n ní ọwọ́ wẹ̀yìn pé ta lélẹ̀ tó ní Ọlọ́run bá wọn yanjú ẹ. Bí máa ń ṣe sọ̀kalẹ̀ tẹ̀lé nìyẹn pé ó tó jọ́ mẹ́ta kìnìkan pé ó dẹ̀ máa bínú pé òun àti olè fẹ́ ra báwọn ló fa kìnìkan. So lady yẹn wá sọ fún pé mo rí sí wọn tí bàbá rẹ̀ fi sọ pé o ò lè fẹ́ òun. Ìgbà tó kọ́kọ́ mú un lọ sílé yín, bàbá ẹ̀ sọ pé òun fẹ́ máa bá òun sùn òun wá sọ pé never òun ò lè gbárù ẹ̀ máa bá òun sùn ìyàwó ọmọ yín bàbá yẹn wá sọ pé ok ó ti fẹ́ ọmọ mi tó ò lè fẹ́ ọmọ mi pé reason why tí bàbá yẹn fi ní kò lè fẹ́ òun nìyẹn dá mi èyí tó fẹ́ sílé yẹn ó ti gbà fún bàbá yẹn láti máa bá a sùn bàbá yẹn fi agree pé kó fẹ́ yẹn sílé.
So interesting. So tell us for our readers to hear, so our listeners.
So so part of the kind of content that she wants to bring on her show I don't know how to explain it, like real life experiences, stories that are very strange to the ears. So an example is a son wants to get married and
wanted to get married and took the lady to his father. The father rejected the first and rejected the second, and the boy was wondering why. Unknown to him that the reason why the father rejected the lady first one is because he wanted to sleep with her and she refused, meaning that for him to have married the second one or for the father to have allowed him to marry the second one, that must have happened. Okay, so what did she advise the man to do?
So what did you advise? So
arákùnrin yẹn wá sọ pé tó máa dẹ̀ délé báyìí ó máa pa bàbá òun ni ó máa gé bàbá ẹ̀ lórí ó máa gé ní ọrùn kò gbọdọ̀ ló kó èèyàn lọ́rùn èmi ò gbọ́ rí pé ọmọ pa bàbá ẹ̀ so kókó abẹ́ ẹ̀ ní túnbí inú bí èmi kan ìwọ kan pé tó ń gbọ́ ni eléyìí ọ̀yàrọ̀ àbóòtọ́ so nígbà tó ń délé ó sá pé bàbá yẹn ó bi bàbá yẹn léèrè pé ẹni tó ń fẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́fẹ́ máa bá a sùn lẹ́fi reject lẹ́fi jẹ́ kóun fẹ́ bàbá yẹn ni ìgbà náà wá ń kọ́ òun ló fẹ́ máa gun orí ẹ̀ ó lóun ò lè gbóhùn òun ó ti fẹ́ tán nìyẹn wá ní òkè yìí tó ń fẹ́ sílé yẹn ṣé nǹkan kan ń pẹ́ ìwà ẹ̀yìn àti ẹ̀ pọ̀ wá ní tí nǹkan bá wá ń pa àwọn ọ̀pọ̀ ńkọ́ kìlúkẹ̀kì nǹkan tó dùn sí wọ́n rò pé ìwọ nìkan ló máa jẹ́ ni so irú bàbá yẹn mo á ní káwọn èèyàn kan pè wọlé o irú bàbá yẹn ṣé kọ́mọ yẹn kó kọ bàbá yẹn ní bàbá ni àbí kó dé accept as bàbá because lójú tèmi ẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ tàpá sọ́run ẹ̀ kí ló wá fẹ́ ṣe lórí ẹ̀ báyìí ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ gbà wá nímọ̀ràn ẹ pè sórí aago wọlé ká mọ bó ṣe ń lọ.
So explain. I understand what she's saying, but for the readers, for our listeners,
she's already demonstrating her show. So she now advised the guy on air that, okay, would you rather confront your father? I think the best thing is to confront your father and ask your father if truly this is the situation. And he did, and the father he said, yes, I did. Are you, I mean, more like, what can you do to me, or what do you want to do to me? And so the father didn't show any remorse in that regard in the situation, and accepted that he slept with the lady. No, that he wanted to sleep with the lady, actually. And then the guy now said, oh, so meaning that the one I have at home, something must have happened. And the father admitted that, yes, I'm the only one that likes good things.
So
good things of life.
The way her show is that she throws the question out to the audience, and then to now get to hear.
Yes. So she opens up the phone lines.
Okay, so she doesn't necessarily advise; she just throws it out, and then based on what the audience says, she now relates it to
they now reach a conclusion on that. Yeah.
Okay, but have you found? Were there any challenges working with her since she's been working for you?
She's actually.
Are there any green areas that she needs to improve on?
She's actually very smart. She's very hardworking. She comes to the studio on time. She comes in to learn production. She comes in to learn social media. She comes in on other
Does she know how to use social media now?
Yes, she's starting with training on that as well. And so she's going to start school in January. She's going to start an adult education school on Sundays. And then we're going to book another 2 extra sessions for her where a personal tutor would come in and train her or start taking her lessons at home during the week, extra 2 days.
So as it is now, she can't speak any English at all, or actually improved?
No, I can speak small, little English. I can speak.
You can speak small, okay. Can you speak broken English?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you communicate with English?
I used to speak English with my children at home.
Oh, so it's not that, it's not so, she's actually a bit more exposed than one actually thought.
A little bit, a little bit.
So who takes care of your children when you're working?
They are two. They're my firstborn. She's the 14 years now. So she used to take care of her sister.
Okay. So where do you live now?
Mowe.
Who is paying your rent?
Auntie T.Y. Bello and Auntie Asuka.
They're paying your rent up till now?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you have very strong ties with them then. And the bank is still paying your students' school fees?
Yes.
Up to what level are they going to be paying the school fees? I thought they said university level, or is it secondary school?
Okay, yeah, university, yes.
Oh, okay. So, about Doja, hers is a very beautiful story because this is the power of second chances. Do you understand? And so, what is your take on the fact that you've done this for Jumoke, or is this something that your firm or your station intends to do for more Jumokes in time to come?
Well, we've done for a couple of people. We gave the Bethesda School of the Blind, the Bethesda School of the Blind, an opportunity as well, because we also have an academy where we train radio presenters or TV presenters. So we had people coming from that school. So it's something that we intend to do. Her story is just different because she's Yoruba. So yeah, clearly we'll do a lot more of Ola Jumoke. We have a foundation that I direct. I'm the one that I lead the foundation. So we'll take up a lot more of Ola Jumoke. It's a very inspiring story. I think the beauty is the satisfaction when you find Jumoke now being educated in the next 2-3 years. You know, she goes on social media, on TV, on radio, and she speaks fluent English. And she has moved. When we're driving down, now I said, you're going to leave Mowe, move into town, you're going to get yourself a car, you learn driving, you know, just get a life. You know, I'm not going to be there forever, but she's going to be properly mentored by myself and Azuka, properly mentored, so that she grows well now, moving on, and she doesn't make any more mistakes.
You mentioned something about the blinds. Yes. What kind of work have you done with them? So
we've trained them in our city media.
Are they also presenters, or?
Well, we haven't employed them, but at least we've given an opportunity to learn radio presenting. Okay,
that's interesting, because her story is extremely moving, and the issue of managers exploiting their clients is not a today's matter. It's been on for a while. So in this case now, when you employed her, did she have to get a lawyer to ensure that she's been given an appropriate salary, or was it just a simple, straightforward transaction?
It's just very straightforward. She's a staff of CTFM. She gets the same contract letter, appointment letter.
So she's not underpaid or anything like that?
No. She gets what every other OAP is getting. Maybe it's slightly lower because she's new.
Yeah, okay.
But not too bad. And it's same thing, same employment, contract of employment letter that every other staff of CTFM has is what she's going to get. So nothing.
So what has been the most rewarding part for you personally for this Jumoke's transition?
She's very happy. She's a lot more confident. When she came in June, when Azuka asked her to come to my station in June for an interview, she looked a shadow of herself. She looks very radiant now. She looked very unhappy. She looked like someone that was even, going into some sort of depression. But actually, now...
I want you to ask her about that. Did she go through mental health issues and severe depression at any given time?
Sure, into depression. Gbogbo period yẹn, ọmọ nǹkan tó ń pè ní depression, tó máa ronú, tó máa dàbí pé kọ́ta ìpara ẹ̀. Nígbà yẹn.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, mo máa ronú gidi nígbà yẹn. Because ẹni tó ti ní díẹ̀díẹ̀, tó wá di pé kò sẹ́ni tì mọ́. Mo máa ń ronú bọ̀. Ohun tí ó tún jẹ́ kí ronú yóò tún pọ̀ lára mi jùjùjù ni Aunty Asuka àti Aunty T.Y. Bello àti Mrs. Abiola Ayẹni. So àwọn tó ń assist mi nìyẹn. Tí wọ́n rẹ́ pé tí n bá need anything, máa pa Aunty Asuka ẹlò máa. Ifo táwọn mi bá need the school bag, bàtà school, máa pa Aunty Asuka pé aunty o, ọmọ mi need nǹkan báyìí, wọ́n need bàtà school, wọ́n need the school bag. Aunty á ní okay, send me your account number, wọ́n máa send owó sí mi. The same thing bẹ́ẹ̀ Aunty T.Y. Bello náà bí mo ṣe máa ń pe àwọn náà nìyẹn tó máa send owó sí mi. So mo free láti wọnú ilé ọ̀dọ̀ Aunty Asuka, mo máa ń lọ sínú ilé Aunty Asuka bó ṣe wù mí ni. Tí mo máa lọ, tí mo máa jáde, tí mo máa wọlé. Ifo Aunty Asuka gan tún pè mí pé Ọlájùmọ̀kẹ́ o, àwọn ti ra food stuff, come and carry food stuff, come and carry rice, òróró gbogbo. So mo sì máa ń gbé lọ́dọ̀ Aunty Asuka ni. Aunty Asuka really try for me at Aunty T.Y. Bello àti Mrs. Ayẹni, Abiola, wọ́n try for me ní gbogbo time yẹn.
So Yes, she went through some mental health, going into depression. She was always thinking. But fortunately, because even though it seemed like she betrayed Azuka and TY, they were the ones that she still ran back to. Anytime she needed help, food and stuff for her kids. And fortunately, those ones embraced her with open arms. So Azuka would still listen to her and give her food and give her money and still look after her children and, you know, do stuff for her. So that sort of helped her, which is why Azuka brought her to me. So it's still the same. Yeah. Azuka not throwing the baby out of the bathwater and saying, okay, well, I'll give you a second chance, even though you messed up the first time, you didn't do right, but it's okay to just help you back on your feet. I'm not just going to abandon you. And that's the story Azuka brought to me, that I don't want to abandon this lady. Can you please help me? And you now be part of the second chance. You now bring her, help me to take over from where I stopped and, you know, give her an opportunity, give her a chance, be her boss and mentor her and just see her through the next phase of her life. And that's
But at any given time, even when she was at her lowest ebb, did she ever think of going back to selling bread?
Aha, very true. Bayen, show te ro pe àbí kí n tún máa padà lọ ta bread.
Èrò yẹn máa ń wá sọ́kàn mi gbà mí.
Because that was what she knew how to do.
And so that's the easiest thing to go back to, actually.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ so èrò yẹn máa ń wá sọ́kàn mi nígbà yẹn lóòótọ́ pé mi ò kú ní jókòó sílé. Mi ò kébi tí mo ti ń ta búrẹ́dì náà ni Ọlọ́run ti rán wọn láàánú sí mi. So bóyá mo dẹ̀ máa tún náà padà ta bread. Máa ń sọ fúnra mi, kì í sọ jáde fún anybody. Ó máa ń sọ fún ara mi bọ̀ àǹtí Àsúkà àǹtí tí wàá bèlò. Ìròyìn tí mo máa ń rò lọ́kàn yẹn wọ́n jẹ́ kó wá sí ìmúṣẹ lọ́kàn mi.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Azuka and Tiwa always said to her that, Jumoke, you will never go back to selling bread. No matter what, we won't let you go back to selling bread.
But during the times that because she must have earned some money, even though it was way less than she was deserving of. The family issues also make her misappropriate funds. Do you understand?
Our family issues tó nígbà yẹn bóyá pẹ̀lú àwọn bàbá wọn àti gbogbo àwọn kan ó affect bó ṣe àwọn owó yẹn náà bó ṣe ná àwọn owó yẹn náà àwọn owó tó pa yẹn náà kò ṣe pé ó ná ṣó save àbí ṣó ralẹ̀ àbí kí ló fa àwọn owó yẹn ṣe.
Nígbà yẹn mi ò ralẹ̀ mi ò ra mọ́tò mi ò kọ́lé mi ò ṣe anything because èrò báyìí ò ṣe wá sọ́kàn mi pé èèyàn máa mú fi owó tẹ nǹkan mọ́lẹ̀ so mi ò dẹ̀ tún rí èèyàn láti fún mi nímọ̀ràn yẹn pé bí wàá Ọlájùmọ̀kẹ́ tí èèyàn bá ti rówó bóyá wàá ra ilé kan pamọ́ àbí wàá ra nǹkan pamọ́ tí wàá dé bá so mi ò rí èèyàn fún mi nímọ̀ràn yẹn nígbà yẹn bọ́ ń sìn báyìí tí mo ṣe ti wà pẹ̀lú yín sìn mà gbogbo nǹkan báyìí náà lè sọ fún mi pé tó bá ti ń rówó wàá máa kíìpù gbogbo plan tẹ́ ní fún mi ń sìn yẹn mi ò rí èèyàn fún mi tẹ́lẹ̀.
So that's in the pipeline. She's definitely going to
undergo. In other words, there was nobody to advise her how to spend
nobody
money
at the time. Yes.
She didn't have a bank account, she says?
She has a bank account.
Did she have a bank account then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But she didn't think that there was any need for her to be putting the money in the bank.
Yeah. No, she put the money in the bank. But so, you know, that's a brief gap that she had. Clearly, she had to just finish off.
But what about her mother? Did her mother play a major role in supporting her during this crisis?
Yeah. Our mommy and daddy and gbogbo gba tí nǹkan padà sílẹ̀ yẹn.
Were they also financially dependent on her?
Yes, she was ló máa ń tọ́jú wọn. Nígbà yẹn náà tí nǹkan lọ sókè. Ìwọ ló máa ń fún wọn lówó. Ìgbà tí nǹkan dẹ̀ lọ sílẹ̀, kí làwọn náà tún sọ? Kí náà ṣe?
Ìgbà tí nǹkan fi wà lọ́wọ́ mi ńgbà yẹn, lágbára mi mo máa ń ṣe fún Osime àti daddy mi. Ìgbà tí ó dẹ̀ tún sẹ́nìtì, kò ṣe pé bóyá àwọn náà ní n ò ní ẹ̀fọ́ ni wọ́n ń tà. So mi dẹ̀ tún lè kó bùkátà tèmi kí n tún lọ kó bá wọn ní ọrùn bọ̀ wọ́n máa ń àdúrà níbi àdúrà yẹn Osime máa ń gbàdúrà fún mi. Wọ́n ti jí pè mí láàárọ̀ kùtùkùtù. Wọ́n á ṣàdúrà fún mi pé gbogbo òkòlé Ọlọ́run á dá padà ibi gíga tó ń lọ yẹn Ọlọ́run á dẹ̀ mú ẹ débẹ̀ láyọ̀ àtàlàfíà. So wọ́n máa ń ṣàdúrà fún mi dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé àdúrà yẹn gan wà very important. Kò sí tó dùn tó àdúrà òbí àdúrà wọn náà ló gbà ní orí wọn.
So, yes, initially, yes, she was looking after her parents from what she was making. And when things went down, well, she couldn't do much. Her mother sells vegetables in the village. But one thing that stood out was her mother was always calling her and praying for her, speaking into her life, praying or speaking restoration, that, you know, the Lord will restore all that she has lost. And clearly, that's what is playing out here. The power of a praying mother.
Yeah, you can't compromise that.
Yeah.
But does she have a contract with you? Is there a longevity in terms of how long she will stay with you? Is it something that can be renewed every couple of years, or is it a yearly thing?
So we're going to first start with 3 years. And the reason why I'm saying that is because in those 3 years, we want to ensure that she has had quite a lot. She goes to school, her radio presenting job, she's very strong. Of course, it's renewable. I'm going to make sure that she doesn't have any other setback from any other person. So I think that the plan is to keep her for as long as possible. Yeah.
Okay, so the modeling side of her is totally over?
No, it's not. It's not over.
Still going to be modeling and doing brands?
So talk about your modeling, Jumoke.
Okay. So
She still does.
Oh, she still does?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
She
tell us
did
what she has
she's done a couple in the last few weeks.
Tell us.
yes. So kò ń ṣe pé torí pé mò ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní City FM. So iṣẹ́ mọ́dé ní job mi náà tó bá wà mo máa ṣe. Nígbà pé ní City FM 105.1 FM weekend nìkan ni tibẹ̀ yẹn. So tí modern job náà bá wà níta mo máa ṣe. Tẹ́ bá pè mí kò sí ẹni iṣẹ́ tẹ́ pè mí fún tí mi ò ní ṣe. Mo bá yín wọ aṣọ wò ní runway ní gbogbo ẹ̀. Tẹ́ bá pè mí mo wà available mo máa ṣe.
Yeah, but has she done any?
Yes.
Yes.
What has she done?
Mo lọ fún runway ní last week ní Lekki. Mo ṣe kan ní last week.
Okay, so she did a fashion show last week in Lekki.
Yes.
How much was she paid for that? And who managed that? Did she get the job on her own, or she has a new manager?
Tell them. Azuka got it for you.
Àǹtí Àsùkà ló bá mi wá iṣẹ́ yẹn.
And she was paid.
Wọ́n dẹ̀ sanwó fún mi.
So you were paid? How much were you paid? Okay, you don't want to say, but you were paid.
Yeah,
you were paid enough. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, because how old is you? How old are you now?
34 years.
Okay, yeah, 34 years old. In the modern industry, that's ancient. But you know, if obviously her history and her story is what is selling her.
Yeah.
You know, which we hope will inspire others like her.
Yeah.
To believe that that in the
There's
power
of a second chance. People shouldn't give up on themselves. If they've made a mistake,
yes.
They should believe that God gives people a second chance. If God can give Jumoke a second chance, they should just be encouraged by Jumoke's story and hope for the best. That's okay.
And we should also be thankful for you people like you who are like mentors and angels and advisors that have actually made her live a turnaround, because not very many people
will do that.
Have the opportunity of second chances. So Jumoke, I wish you luck in your new endeavors, and I hope that you'll continue to be a beacon of hope for others like you. If you can tell her what that means. I don't know how you explain beacon of hope in Yoruba.
So, one key, one do fún ẹ, pé orí ńlá t'Ọlọ́run ṣe fún ẹ yìí, pé inú àwọn dùn, pé àwọn wish ẹ all the best. Wọ́n gbàdúrà fún ẹ, wọ́n dẹ̀ ní pé bó ṣe jẹ́ I'm looking for that word as well, encouragement for àwọn other people, bó ṣe sọ pé káwọn èèyàn kan learn lesson.
Wọ́n máa fi kọ́gbọ́n. Thank you so much, Doja, for being with us, and thank you so much for Jumoke, the Breadseller. No more a Breadseller, and we'll continue to excel in everything that you do. Thank you so much for being with us here.
Thank you.
On Perspectives today. So, Jumoke's story reveals a deeper truth. Grace, while transformative, must be nurtured to endure. Yet it also highlights the power of second chances, an opportunity for redemption for those wise enough to apply the lessons of the past. In the end, setbacks are not final, but can serve as a springboard for a stronger, wiser resurgence. And as I keep saying, remember that life is a learning curve. That's all we have time for today. You've been watching Perspectives, your Honorized News with me, Ruth Osime. It's been worth my while presenting. I hope you enjoyed your time spent with us today. Until next week, when I hope to be back here by His grace, do stay safe and positive. Enjoy your week, and goodbye.